Hello and welcome viewers and all the passionate advocates of change and progress. It's with great joy and deep sense of purpose that I welcome you to the program Blackboard. I am your one and only host, Princess Sobra Usman. This segment is dedicated to one of the most powerful catalysts for societal transformation, girl. We're looking at girl-child education today. We gather not just to speak, but to listen, not just to observe, but also to understand the beauty, the strength, the dreams, and the potentials that lies within every girl, and the urgent responsibility we share to ensure she has the opportunity to rise. Educating a girl is not just about teaching her to read and write. No, it's about equipping her to dream, to decide, to lead, and of course, to build. It's about breaking circles of poverty, dismantling walls of inequality, and lightening the touches of hopes in communities across the world. And to help us explore this crucial subject in greater depth, we are honored to be joined by a remarkable guest, Caleb Danladi Bako. He's a very passionate girl-child rights activist, a humanitarian par excellence, and a true voice for the voiceless. Through his tireless advocacy and field work, he has become a beacon of hope for countless young girls seeking access to education, dignity, and opportunity. So sit back, open your minds, and prepare your hearts as we engage in a conversation that not only informs but inspires, a conversation that reminds us that when you educate a girl, you change the world. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me, and happy Independence, viewers.
So you see, let's start with this. What's your education background? What prompts this passion about girl child? If you were a lady like me, I would say, okay, it's all about being concerned about your fellow gender, but you're a man. I mean, why the passion for the girl child education? What's the push?
Okay, that is a very, very important question. So my passion for girls' child education is not just today. It can be traced back to over 20, 30 years ago. I grew up in a community. I came from an average home, and I believe that education can be able to transform a person from where he is today to where he will get there tomorrow. You might not have the necessary connection, you might not be born into a privileged home, but education is a transformation catalyst that can move you to the next level. I grew up in a community where I see a lot of girls. They will move to the urban areas to work as housemates, and that's all they have to do. Some of them end up getting married at a tender age. So I take it as a point of my responsibility and duties that
giving back.
I will give back to the society. If God bless me and I complete my education, I have passion. So when I set up my NGO, part of my activities is to focus on women, girls, and children, to see how I can be able to support women when it comes to entrepreneur, and to support girls when it comes to their education, and also to be able to raise awareness to advocate for girls' child rights when it comes to the issue of child labor, especially for the girl child and the boy child. So it's very, very important. So I have this passion for humanity. I have passion to support girls, because I believe that if you educate a girl today, you are breaking a cycle of generational poverty, because she will become aware of the importance of education, that how education is going to transform her, and it's going to shape her, and it will give her an idea to also educate her own children. And when she educates her own children, they are going to educate their own offspring. And so the cycle continues. But if you don't educate a girl today, she grows, she believes that all her jobs end in a husband's house. It's only what the husband will give her. And that is the ideology. She will not do it right. That is the whole ideology she will have. And another issue, another crucial issue today, if you educate a girl child today, you are educating the entire community, because women has a crucial role to play in the society. They lead in leadership roles in the society. And according to United Nations, for every year the girls spend in school in higher education, from primary to higher education, it increases her earning by 20%. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
And if you educate a girl child today, she becomes aware of her well-being. She becomes aware of
Our
health, our environment,
our
and she'll be able to take proactive measure to be able to avoid some sort of diseases like HIV. She's aware of how to protect herself. She's aware of maternal mortality. She's aware of when to take her children for vaccine. So you are improving the well-being of the society, and that has to do with one of the SDGs 3.
Yes.
Health and well-being of
every
society.
child,
And
yes.
when you educate a girl child today, you are also reducing poverty. Is also have to do with SDG 1, and you are reducing hunger, SDG 2.
In the
So
society.
it has to do with
The whole
sustainable
lot. It's all
development goals.
encompassing.
Yeah, exactly. SDG 8 also have to talk about their work and empowerment, and also how they contribute to the economic well-being of the country. So it's very,
So-
very crucial.
Are we going to say that your education background has actually helped shape your orientation and, of course, your inspiration to push for the girl child?
Absolutely. If I'm not educated today, I'll have that same stereotype that education is meant for boys and not for girls. So my educational background has shaped me. I school with a lot of ladies, and I've seen them taking over leadership and mentorship roles, which is very, very important. So without education today, I think I will not be
You
able
won't
to
go
have this
that far.
mentality to go far.
So will you say that educating the girl child now impacts the community, the society positively?
Absolutely. Educating the girl child is not just a right, is an obligation for us to educate the girl child. It's very, very important. When you educate one girl, you are educating the entire community, because the cycles keep going. So it's very, very important. Let's look at the economic situation in the country today. Most of the people that drive the economy, they are women. And when you educate a child, she becomes aware of the economic impact in the community. If you go to the market today, they are mostly women. So it's very, very important. We are talking about the issue of maternal mortality today. We want to achieve zero maternal mortality rate. Without education, educating a girl child, you won't get there. You have to go back to basics. You can't start educating a woman that is in her 50s. But when you catch them young at a tender age, it's very, very
It
important.
impacts on them.
And one of the advocacy we are doing is to address the issue of child labor. You don't just pick a child from the village and take him to city and she will be made and working to you as a slave. No, a child is meant to be in the classroom and not to go to trade or not to work
Or
as a
hawk.
slave or hawk in the street. And parents also have to understand that if your child, you want your child to go to school, yes, but the child should not go and hawk in the street. No.
It's
The
not
child
their
is meant to be in the
responsibility
classroom.
to
It's not
cater.
it's your responsibility as a parent to cater for your children, and not the responsibility of a girl child to cater for her parents. So that stereotype must change. And there are cultural norms and some society
Yeah,
that
I was
believes
going
that
to that.
girls have to marry early, and then they prioritize sending boys to school, and the girl will remain at home to work as a domestic
source
worker
for the
and
male
source for
children.
male children. So that stereotype must change. You know, it's a societal norm in Africa and some places.
Okay, so talking about some of these barriers now, the cultural, the societal, and of course, even the religious limitation to when we have girl children being pushed into early marriages. As an individual, or what is your organization doing to address some of the challenges? I'm going to name one for you now. I will share a real life experience. Okay, in one of my outreach, in one of my going out as a reporter doing my reportorial duties, we were invited by an NGO to, the NGO donated pads, donated menstrual hygiene kits to girl children in secondary schools. And when I was having a conversation with one of the students, she said, I asked her, so how do you use this? Do you know how to use this? How often do you use it? Have you seen this before? You know, just to know their level of exposure. And she said she uses rag, and whenever she's in her period, she doesn't come to school. And when I asked her why, she said their toilet is open, there's no space for her to change, it's not convenient, and she's ill. So now, what is your organization doing, like addressing some of these challenges? They are salient, but they are very important. Imagine the number of days that a child's cycle lasts for, and she has to miss school, and this thing happen every month. What if there's test? What if there's exam? She misses so much part of it. Let's talk about addressing some of these basic things.
Okay, that's a very important question, but before we talk about solution, we have to identify the root cause, because if you have headache today and then you don't know the root cause of your headache and you are busy taking paracetamol, it might be malaria.
When maybe you just need rest.
Exactly, maybe you need rest or it's hypertension. So we need to address the root cause. First of all, what are the root causes of out of school children, particularly the girl child? Why is it that a girl child doesn't go to school? One of the reasons, as you have mentioned, there is issue of societal norm, religious issue, which is well known, and culture.
As well.
The other aspect have to do with poverty. You know, when their parents don't have money to send them to school, they prioritize sending men, and so that they can go and hawk and bring in money. The other aspect is about lack of infrastructure. If there is no school in the particular environment, meaning she can't go to school.
Yeah,
it's very, very important. Another issue has to do with her safety. If the school is very far from where they live and she has to trek kilometers, and then there are bushes along the road, she doesn't feel safe. So she can be raped along the way. There's issue of children being raped. So
several cases
that we had. So it's a serious issue. Conflict areas where there are conflicts like insurgency, banditry, because of the fear of being attacked, they don't go to school. The most important thing is awareness. When there's lack of awareness, they don't go to school, and child labor. Those are the root causes. So we look at how to address these root causes. From my NGO's perspective, we have done a lot when it comes to girl child education. When we started, we carried out a need assessment to find out why is it that young girls don't go to school in a particular region. And then we conducted a survey, and we find out that the menstrual hygiene is also a problem. We find out that even though schools are free, but they don't have books to go to school.
Okay.
We also find out that there's no motivation. There's no motivation, and also the societal and the religious norms. So we now prioritize, okay, which of these issues are we going to address first? There are issues that is difficult to address, that has to involve religious leaders, traditional leaders, community leaders, even the government. So on our own part, we look at the girl child now. If she's not going to school because she's using clothes, you know, during her menstrual cycle, we donate pads, which is not healthy. Now, next week is an International Day of Girl Child, and we are going to celebrate it. We are going to raise awareness that we have been doing, and we are also going to donate these sanitary pads and menstrual hygiene kits to them, and also to raise awareness about the importance of girl child education. That is what we have been doing. We raise awareness, we discuss the benefit of girls going to school, not only to them but also to their parents, which is very crucial, because you have to go back to basics. It's because of their parents. We also we also look at, okay, if a girl, now I prioritize, I buy jam for students annually, between 300 to 500 students, and we sponsor their jam forms. We prioritize girls. We look at them, and let me be honest to you, most of the outstanding performance students we have are girls. So they only need a small push to get there. And I can tell you that they are doing extremely well. I'll give you a live case scenario. I met a woman with a baby trekking to market in the village, and I stopped her. I was curious. I asked her, where is she heading to? She says heading to market. I said, okay, what did she study? She said she wanted to be a nurse, but she married at a tender age. She got pregnant, and her parents asked her to go and marry. And I look at her. Now, the Nigerian healthcare system has lost someone that would have been a nurse today to assist. And then she's living with that regret. And then she doesn't understand the importance of education. So I have to take time to explain to her the importance of girl-child education. And now, she believed that, from our conversation, she believed that her children will not pass through the same route that she has passed through. So that's awareness. You can raise awareness not in group, but even if you are walking and you see somebody, you can discuss with him about the importance of girl-child education.
Okay, so now we have been reminded of some of our challenges and of course the way forward. What practical steps do you think governments and people like you, of course, who are very passionate about girl child education, take, to promote the girl child?
It's very, very important. I must commend the government for the Child Rights Act of 2003, even though some states have not adopted it, but it's the first step, the right step in the right direction. So when it comes to government has to provide all the necessary infrastructure. Government have to provide all the necessary support. There should be stipend in when they go to school. You need to give them something to encourage them. If you want somebody to go to school, you need to encourage him. I'm happy today that under the Renew Hope agenda, we have free school feeding programs that will attract a lot of them to go to school.
No,
beyond them,
they don't go
they don't go hungry. It's very important. So if you want to catch a fish, you give him something. So it's very, very important. So I think the government has done their part on that aspect, and a lot need to be done. UBEC is free today. Universal basic education is free. So a lot of policies have been developed, but the private sectors also need to do more, like NGOs, people like us. We need to spread the gospel. We need to spread the message.
Because government alone
cannot do it. We need to raise awareness about the importance of girl-child education. We need to have special marshals in different communities that will report the issue of girl-child labor and child trafficking. It's very, very important. We also need to have this special marshal that will serve as whistleblower, that if you bring in a girl to the city to stay with you, her major role is to go to school and not for you to engage her in hawking or trading domestic chores at home while your own children are into school. But this is not associated with a lot of women. A lot of Nigerian women are mentors to girl child. If you look at the NGO space today, most of the women that have been raising awareness about the importance of girl child education are women. Yeah. So it's only few women that causes most of these issues. And we need to raise them.
Very negative
impact. You will bring a child, you will maltreat him, you will subject him to all sort of abuse. Is unacceptable. We can't take it anymore. It's unacceptable. And the private sector must do their own role when it comes to that. Very important, the community leaders, the religious leaders, they have a significant role to play because they have a large followership.
Yeah, and people
listen to them. So they need to raise awareness as the importance of training a girl child. When you train a girl child, you are breaking an intergenerational cycle of poverty. So it's very, very important. And then we also have to look at how to support the girl child when it comes to menstrual hygiene, because we have identified the challenges. We also have to come up with solutions. The government alone cannot do it. So we need to support. The International Day of Girl Child is coming soon on the 11th October. And I implore not only the non-governmental organization, if private individuals, worthy individuals can come together to raise awareness, to support the cause of girl child, to ensure that every girl have access to quality education. Every girl have access to good quality sanitary hygiene, which is very, very crucial, because that's one of the things that is stopping them to go to school.
Okay, so by way of conclusion, I mean, what role do the male allies play in these movements? Very briefly, by way of conclusion, we're running out of time.
Raise awareness, ensure that you do the right thing by not marrying a young girl. A girl is meant to go to school. We must stop
She's
the
supposed
idea
to be in the classroom, not to be in the matrimonial
Exactly.
home.
We have to stop this issue of girl-child marriage. It's not healthy. It's detrimental to our own well-being. It subjects her to all sort of psychological
abuse.
trauma and abuse. So the males, the men, must stand to their right to ensure that no girl is married at a tender age. It's very, very important. And awareness and all hands must be on deck to stop child labor, child abuse, early girls child marriage, which is a root cause of most of these issues. And children are meant to be in classroom and not to hawk in the street. And it's very, very important.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
For your time.
It's my pleasure.
It's been quite engaging conversation we've had today, and on behalf of everyone present in the studio, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our guests. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing not only your insight but your passion and of course the experiences. You know, your unwavering commitment to the right and the education of girl child is what a whole lot of people should emulate. He has reminded us that challenges do exist: poverty, harmful cultural norms, lack of infrastructure, but we also have to see that change is possible, especially when we stand together and we speak out and take action. Let's not just be informed, let us be inspired. Let us carry this conversation beyond this world into our homes, into the schools, into our community, and of course into the policies that we make, because every girl child, no matter where she is born, deserves the right to learn, to lead, and of course to live with dignity. As we close, I challenge each and every one of us to be a champion for the girl child, not just in words, no, but also in your action, because the future is female, yes, but most importantly, the future is educated and of course empowered. So thank you all for being part of this journey. Thank you for watching Blackboard today. Let's keep the flame burning, and happy Independence Day, Nigeria. I am Princess Sobra Usman. Till I come your way again, same time, same station. Bye-bye.